Hello and welcome to Witchy Shit and Manga Lit. For once, I am not high, and as always, I do not know what's going on. So, Kaito, what are we talking about today?
Today, I want to talk about AI.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that bitch. I've
Yeah,
got thoughts. I've got
I
thoughts.
I thought you would. I thought you would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have some
So,
thoughts
for,
as well.
mm, so first, what have you been reading, watching, consuming?
So this week, I'm we finished up the heroing show, so I was like, "We're gonna watch this other show," and he was like, "Okay." And now I'm rewatching the My New Boss is Goofy.
Oh, cute.
I can't help it. I love it so much. It's so good. It's so wholesome, and he loves it too. So I'm like, good. I'm showing you quality things that you're going to enjoy. Also,
Mm-hmm.
last week I didn't mention it, but I watched the No One Will Save You movie, the one that Ron said whipped ass, as he put it, and it's super scary. It's super duper scary, and
Where is
I
it at?
no, you can't watch it. You're not allowed. It has grays.
Oh, I can't watch that.
That's what I said. Like, I've never found grays scary. These grays scared the shit out of me. Like,
Okay.
they're like honking and clicking and they can shapeshift. It is bonkers.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. So I told my massage therapist about it though, and he's like, I'm gonna watch this immediately. And this time when I went to go see him, he did nothing but gush about the movie and how much he liked it. And I'm like, I told you. I told you it was fucking good. You listen to me. You listen to me now. Um, so to all of those out there that enjoy a good alien movie, watch that. I recently watched the 2018 Predator movie, and I realized I hadn't seen it before. One. Two, I realized I didn't know that it had come out.
Yeah, I'm like, there was a
Like,
2018 Predator
there's
movie?
a 2018 Predator movie. It's on Tubi, so you can watch it for free. One. Two, it has Keegan Michael Keys in it, which I was like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good.
That sounds wild. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because then, like, you find out, like, the first predator was on our side, and then, like, a bigger, more awful predator comes, and you're like, "Oh my god. The hell? There's predator dogs in it?" It's great. It's great. 10 out of 10,
All
I
right,
recommend.
cool. I will check it out.
I mean, like, it's a fun monster movie. It's not gonna, like, blow your mind because it's not, like, super high quality or anything, but, like, it's well done. The it's funny, but, like, at the same time, like, there's a lot of gore in it because it's fucking Predator movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I did this week. I didn't do much of anything because I was too busy drawing. Like, that last one that I sent you, 11 hours. That one took me
Mm-hmm.
11
Oh
hours.
wow.
It was that fucking tattoo. That tattoo is the death of me.
It looks so good.
But I was
It
like,
looks
"You
so
know
good.
what? I'm gonna rock this one." And I did. And the one before that, the one with the pretty wisteria background, yeah, that one took me like 9 hours as well. So, like, that's all I was doing this week was just those 2 and trying to get them the best that I could because I really respect both the artists that are on there. But,
Mm.
trying to think. I've also just been making friends with people, and, like, a lot of people are like, this one girl that I friended, which you would like, she does a lot of, JJK art. Her name is Gojo Horizon, and she was like, "Well,
I love it.
no no," she was like, "Well, people weren't friending me back, and it made me think that people don't like my art, so I got really discouraged and didn't wanna do stuff," and I'm like, "No, no, no, the algorithm is very mean. This has nothing to do with your quality of art, I promise you." So
Mm-hmm.
we've been chatting. I've been kind of trying to hype her up a little bit because she was down on herself a little bit.
Mm.
But yeah, I really like her stuff. I was actually nervous friending
I'm
her
gonna
because I thought
go
she wasn't
check her
going to friend
out
me
right
back.
now.
Do it.
You said it's Gojo Horizon.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna look her up right now. I'll be like, and
She does
follow
like
her.
semi realism for like the same kind of art and stuff. Just really good stuff. I like,
She came right up.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
follow.
probably because we're mutuals. So you're like, oh, my friend knows this
Oh,
person. See? Isn't her stuff
it's
cute?
so cute. Oh my god. Some of these kiss ones are like the cutest ones.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love her
Oh
stuff.
my
Hype her up.
god. Oh my god. So, oh, it's so good. Okay, cool. I followed, and I liked 2 photos, so.
Cool, cool. Um, that's been it for me though. I've been working at doing work. Oh, wait, no, I read a bunch of shit. I'm lying. I read a bunch of shit. You're like, I knew you weren't doing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I read a bunch of stuff. I read the comic Sign, which is like it's super adorable. It's a BL, and this guy basically ends up working at this cafe, and he thinks the owner like doesn't want to talk to him, but it's because the owner is like hearing impaired and he like literally couldn't hear him. So he starts to learn sign language and like they fall in love. It's adorable, super
Aw.
sweet. Like everything about it is great. I highly recommend that one. And then like I read a bunch of other BLs, but like, you know how I go through BLs. I can't remember anything specific about them, so I can't talk about them other than Sign because Sign is like mm, over 100 chapters. Over 100 chapters so far. Yeah, I've been getting caught up a little bit with some other things, but other than that, yeah, just my new boss is goofy and drawing a lot, like a whole lot, like too much.
Mm.
Considering I only posted twice this week, I feel like I did a lot more work than that.
Well, you were spending time on them.
That's true, and I need to start doing that. So, like, I'm glad that I forced myself to do that effectively. I need to get all these other collabs and trades done because, like, I messaged them on like January 15th, and I still don't have like I've only completed 2 of them, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm busy, and they're all like, No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like, No, it's not. I'm a terrible person.
Oh, Lord. LAWD, Lord.
uh, yeah, but that's it. That's it for me. How about you?
I'm staying current on the things that I'm watching. So, still on the Apothecary Diaries that got kind of like intense. This last episode was intense. I can't wait to see the episode that's coming out this Sunday because they're going to follow up on that intense shit. It was like all fun and games, and then suddenly it wasn't. I watched Side of Affection, which is also has a hearing impaired character, has a deaf character in it,
Mhm.
and loving it. Uh, I caught up on Cherry Magic. I started watching Yuri on Ice in Japanese again while falling asleep so I could familiarize myself with Japanese words since I'm studying Japanese on Duolingo again.
Mhm.
For the 3rd week in a row, I've come in first place in Duolingo. Uh
Nice.
for my like little group or whatever group, they lump us in the groups of like 50 or something, and there's a promotion zone and a stay where you're at zone and a demotion zone. For the 3rd week in a row, I've placed number 1 in the promotion zone. I'm like, yes. The competitive part of me is very happy about that.
You're like,
Um,
"Yes, gamify this learning, so I'll do it."
yes, yes. Carrots and gold stickers all the fucking way. Uh, and so what else did I watch? Then Yuri on Ice, they speak so fast in Yuri on Ice, so fast, that I had to switch over back to Sasaki and Miyato in Japanese because
I feel like they talk more like normal speed in Sasaki and Miyano. Like, I think slice of life is gonna be your way to go for
mhm,
the learning because it's gonna be, 1, more common parlance, and 2, it's not gonna be super fast, it's gonna be like normal talking speed.
mhm.
You know what? I bet, mm, I started Skip and Loafer as well. I bet that one would be a good one to fall asleep to
That might be a
also
good one to
because
fall
it's
asleep to too. It's kind of chill. I watched Skip and Loafer. I thought it was cute, and also it's the slow burniest of slow burns. It's like, and then it's I ain't gonna give it away to you. You gotta watch it, but like,
he
it's
is the
adorable.
most
It's
golden retriever character I've
yes,
ever seen in my life.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because she's not exactly not a golden retriever. Like she's also very much like I wanna I wanna do the best that I can and be studious and make change in the world, at least in my little community, because I'm gonna be the smartest and I'm motivated and I'm gonna be on the city council. And he's just like, bow wow.
Like, Bow Wow, really? Um, oh my god. I will say, like, I love her best friend. Her
Mm-hmm.
best friend that's still in the hometown and
Mm-hmm.
her family, oh
Talking
my
some
god, like,
sense
literally
into her, like, bitch, you wow, you don't know how to really do. Like, I got your back. Calm down. It's good. She's so
she's like her
practical. My
grounding
friend is so
space.
practical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Like, I love that for her, and it just, like, gives me energy.
So what else am I doing? Um, so that's what I watched, and most of my time has been taken up reading Heaven Officials' Blessings. I am now on book 5.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you skipped a book from the last time we talked. You were on book 3 last time, and you're like, "Then I'm gonna start book 4." I'm like, "Oh, okay, wow, now you're on book 5." That was
Hmm.
you're reading a book every 2 days apparently now.
Yes. Yes. And I also finished another book called Wings Once Cursed and Bound. I was struggling with that one because it was it's I was trying to say it's not that it's badly written, but it's predictable and there's no tension. There
Oh,
was
boo.
no yeah, there was no worry or concern for the characters. The characters weren't unlikable, but they never put them in any kind of peril for me to be like, "Oh no, I'm hooked. What's going to happen next?" I always felt safe and secure. And that's a different genre of book that some people need to read. It makes them feel comfortable. They don't need that edge. I need literary edging. I need to be like,
I need to be on the edge of my seat wondering what's gonna happen with the characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I need to be on the
I
edge of my
don't
seat.
I don't necessarily need that. For me, I just have to care about the characters. Like, you can give me the edgiest bullshit on earth, and I will not give a shit. Like, there was somebody had me read Load Tide and Twilight. Do not read this manhwa. Don't read it. Don't. Do not. Okay? It is the edgelordiest of edgelord BL manhwa. It is rapey as shit. Do not read it. It is awful.
Okay.
By like chapter 50, which is like halfway through, I was like, yeah, I don't need to know what happens to these guys. And like I told her. I was like, I can't do it. The car scene was too much. It was awful. I couldn't handle it. I don't care enough to put myself through
Mhm.
this anymore. And she was like, that's fair. But the next season's better. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Mhm.
You can tell me that always to Sunday, but I do not give a shit.
Mm.
If the male lead is so awful, I want him to die. I don't care if he gets better in the next season. I want him
Mhm.
to die now. So no, I'm out. Tapped out, done, donezo. Forget it. It does not matter to me. So,
I am.
yeah.
I these characters in the Wings Must Kirsten Bound. I feel like the story that was taking place over 300 pages could have taken place in 15.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of inspired by the fact that you can take 15 pages of content and write 300 pages off of that 15 pages of content. Like, I am kind of like, she wrote this and she finished it and she got it published.
Mhm.
Why am I struggling so fucking much?
And that's the truth. Because honestly, I think that you can you're gonna be published a lot. Once you get over your I'm scared of it because I think you just waiting to shine. You're gonna be amazing. 1000% I believe that. So
Mm,
just let
keep
yourself
writing.
let yourself shine, keep writing. And actually that reminds me, the other thing that I did this week was, I don't know if you're familiar with the YouTuber Strange Aeons, but
Mm-mm.
she basically does a lot of, like, Tumblr reviews, like, reviews of Tumblr things and, like, internet drama and things like that. Well, anyway, she did a live reading of My Immortal. It was it was 2 hours long of her reading this fucking thing, and it was so bad and so funny, and just it kept me very entertained while I was drawing that tattoo, that's all I'm saying. That was probably
That
the
sounds
only thing
great.
getting me through the tattoo, was that I was like, "This is very entertaining to listen to right now." But what's
I'm
really funny is while I'm drawing, I remember in the drawings what I was listening to while I was drawing it. So, like, if I'm
that
listening to,
makes
like, an
sense.
audiobook or, like, YouTube or music or something like that, I can literally hear it play back to me when I'm looking at the drawing because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I was listening to that during the line work," and stuff like that.
Mm. I used to listen to music when I studied for tests, and I would listen to one song on repeat, and it would be a classical music piece. So when I went to take the test, I was humming the music, and that would help me remember the.
Oh my god, that's so smart.
Yeah,
That's so smart.
yeah. That was how I made it through a lot of school. Was like that. That my memory was connected to something auditory.
Mhm.
So, yeah. But let me tell you, Heaven Official's Blessing.
Get into it.
It is so good. It's so well written, so simple to read, flows so well. I care about all the characters. Cheyenne is like just the sweetest. You just want to protect him, and then you get these reminders that he can protect himself. Like I believe, like in the first season of in the first book, and even into like a little bit the second season, the second book, you don't really you take for granted that he's a martial god.
Mm.
But once you get past those, especially in book 4, you're like, oh, this bitch is a fighter. Like,
I
he
can't wait till we get those
fights.
seasons, though. Like, do you think they're gonna have more, animation for it?
They better, but I'm not sure if they're gonna have more animation because it's coming out of China, right?
That's true, it is a donghua.
Yeah, and they are like,
They get gayer in in the later
oh,
books.
oh, It just ramps up. Of course, there's always a reason for it. Like, Hwa Chung thinks Shailene is drowning. And so gives him some air, and they have to exchange spiritual power, and like,
Spiritual power in the form of spit.
yes, yes. The most direct, easy to fill each other with spiritual essence. And
No, I
so
just
yeah,
like
no.
I'm stuck on Julian's kink. Why are you so full of evil?
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh my
But
god, I can
I have gotten to the we're writing calligraphy and then it turns out
mm,
into a makeout fest part. Um, that was delicious. That was well written.
just an
It was
evil-filled Twinkie.
the way this thing is written is there's no like you could tell they were kissing and it was passionate, but it wasn't written in a way that was like overt. Anyway, it was so tasteful. It was so tasteful, but it said what it needed to say. And I cannot. MXTX, a great writer. So, like, I can't, like, I'm sitting at the table reading it. I'm having such bad manners because of this book. I'm sitting at the table during dinner, reading on my fucking Nook. I've had to charge this bitch like 3 times because I'm reading with it so much. Like,
Wow.
battery is just not lasting on me.
You are going ham on it.
Yes. Yes. I will say that I still need to use my phone to read comics. Well, I figured out my issue with the Nook app on my phone. I have to add everything to a bookshelf. And once I add it to a
Oh.
bookshelf, then I can see it. But it still shouldn't work that way. But I just figured that out on a quirk somehow.
Mhm.
Um, but if you're into reading comics and stuff like that or manga, I wouldn't suggest to Glow Light 4. I would suggest something with color on it because the resolution is not high enough for anyone who's listening. But for reading
Oh.
books, for just reading books, this bitch, the Glow Light 4, this is it. This is it. It's like the perfect size for your hand. I'm not paid by Nook y'all to say any of this, but at all, but it's like the perfect size for your hand. The font you can make bigger or smaller. It's great. It really is like reading on paper. It's fucking amazing. It's light enough so that if it falls and hits your face while you're reading, you'll only get a small black eye. Instead of
Instead of a full face? Yeah.
instead of a full face. But yeah, so Heaven Official's blessing has been bringing me so much joy and getting me through an otherwise emotionally stressed week. So, and we watched Buddy Daddies together.
We did. We are watching Buddy Daddies, and it is so good.
Mhm.
It's so good. Though I need to get through these DTIYSs that I only have 2 now because one of them extended for a month, and I'm like, "Thank you, sweetie." Um,
Mhm.
but I am gonna draw the shit out of Ray because I love his
Papa
face.
Ray.
He's so grumpy, and when he wears a suit and has his hair up, chef's kiss. I need to draw that immediately.
Mhm.
Like, it's hard to explain because like, I'm not actually, like, attracted to him, but I find him extremely aesthetically pleasing. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of how I feel about some of the Jujutsu Kaisen boys. Like, I'm not necessarily sexually attracted to them all, but like, I'm like, oh, you're nice to look at.
The design is there. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about Choso. Like, I love Choso. Choso's the best big brother to Yuji, but, like, I don't like him like that. But
Mhm.
I wanna draw his ass a lot.
With his hair down, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really
His
good
hair
point. I should draw him with his hair down at some point. I
when they
have
took them
referenced.
pigtails out. Oh,
Mm, mhm, mhm. I like him
I'm
with the
like, yeah, it's
pigtails
so
too, though.
pretty.
The
It's
little
so
messy
pretty.
buns.
Hmm. So yeah, so that's what I've been watching and consuming and reading rapidly. And I told myself, oh my God, I'm gonna take a break between book 4 and book 5 and read some bell hooks. Like I have a whole bell hooks like section. I was gonna read all about love.
Mhm.
Um, but then they ended book 4 on a cliffhanger.
And you're like, "Damn it." You can't end on a
Like
cliffhanger. You have to keep
I,
reading.
I literally flipped the page and it was like glossary and terms, and I'm like, bitch, what? What? They're running through the
That's a
fucking woods. What do
that's
you
a
mean?
bad cliffhanger too.
Yeah, it's like they're in each other's arms, and it's like story continued in book 5. And I'm like, so yeah.
At least there was a book 5.
Mm.
I hate it when they do that to me, and that's the last book that they have available. I'm like, "You bastards."
Yeah, I'm glad I'm reading this series
I think
after
it's
it's all
done
come
now.
out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
done.
Because there's is there 8 or 9 books total?
There's 8 books.
Okay. I knew it
There's
was
8
some
books. Well, there's 1 through 5, and then there's book 6, which is referred to as book pain, and then 7 and 8.
book pain?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's people are like, "You mean book 6?" Other people are like, "You mean book pain?" Like one guy said they were on a trip to Japan and it was a 12-hour flight and they brought that book with them and it was a mistake because they were sobbing on the flight.
Oh my god,
I
no.
can't wait to read it. I
I
have already cried twice reading these books.
I feel a certain way about it just 'cause, like, I I haven't even started, but I don't want anything bad at all to happen to Jillian ever.
Well,
You're like, "I
you're
got
gonna
some bad
cry.
news for you."
You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. There's a reason he's the way he is. Like there's a reason. And I what I love about the writing in this is like the first times we see him, he seems very like calm and collected and knows what he's doing and da 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 da. And you don't really see all of his flaws. But then as the writer starts writing him, when you go into
Mhm.
his past, you can see like how all these flaws have formed who he is today. And I think that's like brilliant writing technique. Um, but yeah, I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but ooh, he's got the worst luck.
Okay, that I agree with. Like, basically everything I've seen about him, I'm like, "Oh, poor baby.
Mhm.
What is this? You poor darling."
Mhm. And it goes from there. It goes from there. It makes it's such a situation that whenever Hua Chung shows up, you're like, yes, yes. Oh, thank God he's here. He's gonna just take care of everything. He's gonna take care of the baby. He's gonna make sure that he's okay. So yeah, I'm totally like sprung for Hua Chung. Like not for me personally, but for Jillian. Uh
Mhm.
I'm so happy that y'all have each other. I'm so happy that y'all have each other.
Right?
Even if Jillian is like clueless.
Jillian is the type of character that, like, I literally just wanna swaddle in a blanket and tuck in a corner and be like, "Shh, just sit here, it'll be
Mhm.
fine." And then I'm gonna go kill all your enemies with Hua-Chang.
Yes.
"You, the baby, stay. We'll come back, and then Hua-Chang can have you forever."
Mhm. Yeah, it's been like this bright, joyous thing, and I'm gonna be sad when it's over. I'm also sad that I have no more space on my bookshelf because I would get all 8 of those books just to own, and at some point I will. I just don't know where they're gonna live. Um, have
Just
no
so you know,
idea.
when you come to visit next, you're going home with, like, a box of shit. Like, it's just a rather large box of stuff that I have been slowly collecting again that I was gonna ship to you, but now I don't need to because 'cause you're visiting.
I'm visiting. I'm visiting. So yeah, that's been my joy. Um, yeah, so but aside from that, what's been going on with me personally is that my I've been having what I thought I can't tell if I'm having panic attacks or asthma attacks. So I have to start
Oh,
taking this.
no.
Yeah, so I have to start taking this. I had an inhaler that I'm supposed to take once every 6 hours. I haven't had to
Mhm.
use it, but I started using it because like I can't tell what the fuck is going on. And there's this new shot for me to take that's supposed to help. Because medicine doesn't help with this all the time. Like regular inhalants don't help, so I have to take a biologic, which is another shot. And I've been
Mhm.
scared to take it because the shot's like, oh, one of the side effects of the shot is not being able to breathe. Like if you're allergic, and I'm like, I, and they're like, and it
Yeah.
could take 2 hours to 2 days to figure out if you're allergic. But I can't breathe. So it's like either I can't breathe now. It's like either way I can't breathe. So it's like body, why? What's going on? I just need you to function. I just need you to function. And my body's like, bitch, we trying. But it's hard out in these streets.
It is. Like, so I was talking to Rylan about stuff, and he's gonna send me some, uh, Tulsi and other things that are apparently good
Mhm.
for anxiety. Because 'cause I'm like, "It it is hard right now." And he's like, "I've been
Yeah.
hearing that from a lot of people." I'm like,
He
"Yeah,
sent
no
me something for
surprise."
anxiety too.
And I was like, I just need literally anything." So he's gonna send me some stuff. The herbs that I'm taking now, I've swapped over to the ones that he sent me last time that have, elderberry and elderflower in them because I said that I was getting sick a lot, and then, like, I
Mhm.
stopped getting sick so much, and I was like, I don't think I need them," and then, like, this past week, my body was like, "Hey, guess what?" I was like, "Damn it." I can't breathe. Shut up. We're
Mhm.
we're not dealing with that right now, but yeah, I totally get that. For me, sometimes I'll, like, feel like shit and not know why. So, like, I take my temperature, it's not a fever. Okay, I take my blood pressure. My blood pressure's not high. What is it? Oh, I can't breathe, and then I have to go take my inhaler. So, like, it's like a process of elimination to see why I feel like shit today.
Yep. I'm curious to see when I start taking the shot because I'm gonna take it on Monday. Um, I'm curious to see how badly I can't breathe if this works for me, and to find out like what if I couldn't breathe for years
Mhm.
and I was just out here not breathing.
I mean, that's probably true. Because, like, since you've I can't believe they weren't putting you on an emergency inhaler before. Like, the fact that they didn't prescribe that for you
I
when
still
you
don't have an
had
emergency inhaler.
Are you serious?
I
What the
keep telling
fuck?
my lung doctor that I don't have an emergency inhaler. He's like, "Well, we ordered one for you." And I'm like, "It hasn't come in. I don't have one." I have an older emergency inhaler only from my previous doctor who I told I have asthma symptoms when I get sick. And so they gave me a rescue inhaler just in
Mhm.
case. But like this doctor, my actual lung doctor, whatever he's called, he has not given me a fucking rescue inhaler yet. Yet my asthma supposedly is so bad that I need to take this shot. And I believe because I sometimes feel like there's a weight on my chest, and sometimes it's hard to talk, and sometimes I just feel dizzy.
Yeah. No, like, the thing that I found very strange about it is that, like, because I have all these other symptoms with, like, the fevers and stuff like that because of the long COVID. Sorry, I took my blanket off to put lotion on my tattoo, and now I'm trying to struggle to find out where the blanket is. Um, it's cold over here. It snowed last night.
Oh.
It melted though. It's fine. But like, so some days, like, I will just like feel like I'm dying and go lay down and just be like, why does it feel bad? Nothing is wrong. I'm looking, there's no fever, there's no heart rate stuff. What's going on? Why is my oxygen changing like that? Yeah, and it's because I'm not breathing right. And like I didn't notice that I wasn't breathing right until it was like a problem. So I would not be surprised at all if you are like, when you take it, you're like, oh wow, things have changed. A whole new world is opening now that I can breathe again. 'Cause it's a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna start taking it on Monday. We'll see. Hopefully my body doesn't have a negative reaction to it. I'm just all fucked up in the head from the last injectables I took, the Ozempic and the Trulicity.
Mhm, mhm.
That that fucked me up, and the like withdrawal from it was horrendous. I was sick for like 3 months. So I'm kind of like not looking forward to the possibility of having to do that again. But also, I need to breathe.
Yeah.
I have no choice. I started doing my research
Mhm,
on it, and it's a kind of, I can't pronounce the name, but it's a kind of asthma that starts in your 30s to 40s, and
mhm.
it's not triggered by allergies or stuff like that. It's just and it just gets worse and worse. It's a deterioration situation that involves a lot of inflammation. So the deterioration situation of inflammation, alliteration.
Alliteration.
Um, so yeah, so I gotta do stuff, and my doctor's just like, don't drink sugary drinks. Walk and drink 8 glasses of water a day. And I'm like, you're diagnosing my fat, which is why I don't trust you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because I don't drink sugary drinks. I do drink like a liter of water each day, at least. And I keep telling him I can't walk because I'm disabled. Like like I'm disabled. Like and my hip is crumbling into dust because of osteoporosis. So it's like
It's like my low
it's
back
like
doesn't exist. What am I supposed to do?
yeah. So I'm doing these seated chair exercises, and I can't walk forward, but I can step side to side. So I do dancing to K-pop and anime openings, anime
Mhm.
OPs. So that's what I am doing, and stretching and meditating and all this other stuff. But yeah, so what was that? There's a line in the Heaven Official's Blessing where it's like, mind in heaven, body in abyss. It's like that's exactly what it is. Mind in heaven, body in abyss.
Wow. Can you explain the context of that quote, though? Because that sounds interesting.
He was fighting a demon or a ghost or some shit like that, and he vanquished it. And when he killed it, there was all this carnage all around him, and he was covered with it, and he was like, "My body is in the abyss, but my mind is in heaven." And he was that Shanahan was that bitch. He was just that bitch. So yeah, no. Yeah, body abyss, mind in heaven, body in abyss. He became very embarrassed about that phrase later on in his life. A lot of things he said he was embarrassed about, and he was like, "Can we please forget that I ever said that?" And Hua Chang is like, "Never. It's imprinted upon my soul." ever. The watch song is the embodiment of, if you have 100 believers, I am one of them. If you have one believer, I am one. If you have no believers, I am dead. Except bitches are mortal, so.
So you still have one believer. Oh man.
So yeah. But AI.
Yeah, so AI, um a couple things I want to talk about with AI because AI is a fucking problem, as we've discussed before. But like, there are some new implications that are coming up that I hadn't even thought about.
Mhm.
And one of my mutuals is in school for like forensic science and was explaining how AI will make it harder to prosecute crime because people who have access to it will be able to fabricate video evidence and will be able to fabricate all kinds of evidence. Like they're already doing it with voices. Like deep fake videos and stuff like that have been
Mhm.
around for fucking ever. But AI is getting so good at it that like they need little to no manipulation at this point. And that is terrifying.
I know part of that because of porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely AI in porn. Like I was sometimes when they say, "Oh, so and so celebrity having sex," and you're like, "That is
That's not
not
true.
them. You know that's
Yeah.
not them. You know that's not them." But now it's like, is it? Like I know it's not, but this face, this is wild.
Yeah. And there was a recent incident because I was talking to Ron about this, and he said that there was like a school that they were creating AI generated porn of like their classmates and teachers and shit. Like, and it was so pervasive that like the cops got called. Like they were
Wow.
going ham on it. And it's like, this is just the tip of the iceberg because AI is still relatively new, but the way that this past year has had it invading literally everything, it's just terrifying to me. Like even my job. So one, basically ever since our company decided to go public, it's been going downhill in terms of employee experience. I'm just putting that
Mm.
out there.
Mhm.
Um, but they have created, what they're calling an AI companion, where basically for the service people, the AI is listening in on their calls with the client and is making suggestions for articles and stuff to help out the client. And why this is a problem, and I've talked to people about this, but why this is a problem is because 90% of the time when our clients call in, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, I'm just going to put that straight up out there.
Mm.
They don't know what the
Mhm.
fuck they're talking about. So, you, as the person on the other side of the phone, have to have some modicum of knowledge about payroll, HR, etc., to be able to suss out what the client actually wants because the client's going to be calling things one thing when they're actually something else. The client's going to be calling things by their own internal verbiage instead of our internal verbiage. And because the AI is clued into our internal verbiage, it's going to make the clients feel even more like they're not being listened to because already we're not training. We're not training, we're outsourcing, we're doing all this stuff. And I am angry about it, but it is what it is. It's fine. Um, because like, they've been doing this for years. Like, they stopped training people during the pandemic, essentially. They made the training
Mm.
from the when I started, the training was 8 weeks long, and I didn't even need that because I already had a payroll and HR background. It was more figuring out how our company did it versus how I had done it before. But they stopped making sure they were hiring people who had some kind of background in that, and they just weren't training people. The training went from 8 weeks to, like, 3 at most.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and, like, none of it was the basics of HR and payroll. So, they were just throwing people on the phones just to get bodies on the phones to deal with the fact that we had a high volume of calls. That's it.
Mm.
And I don't know. I feel like it never got better, but, like, they kept telling us that it's better and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Yeah, but the clients are not getting answers." And they're being told wildly different things by different people on the phones, and they don't trust our service thing. This tells me that it's not getting better, and you guys are just happy that the numbers are going down because all you're concentrating on is numbers. And it's because of this new executive that we got, and she keeps getting promoted. And I'm like, she is literally ruining the service experience. I don't know why she keeps getting promoted, but that's an
Because of
executive thing.
metrics,
Yep.
because of KPIs and all that shit.
Yep. I don't understand corporate shit. Anyway. But yeah, that's
There's
another thing with AI.
there's a few things with AI. One for me. One part is this huge thing that's happening with artists,
Mhm.
writers, content creators. We're gonna see it start happening with singers and everything like that.
Yep.
How AI is just gonna take over the creative industry. And what's gonna happen is because AI is also so polished and pop that it's gonna stop. Um, it's just gonna have people not. Well, We're gonna lose so much by not having actual human creators creating.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna literally lose its soul. Um, and that is the same thing that happens when people take medicine and remove all the stuff from it. Like, and I'll use an example of um, AA. AA was originally practiced by, and it was taken from indigenous practices where indigenous people saw themselves as warriors against these addictions. And when they took AA from the examples of these of indigenous people, they took all of its teeth away. And instead of being warriors united
Mhm.
against the addiction, it became you are powerless to your addiction, so you have to give your power over to a higher power and have that higher power protect you.
Yeah.
So it changed, the medicine changed. We see it when, when we have certain words in our vernacular or in our slang, and people get a hold of those words and use them incorrectly. Um, it loses all of its meaning and all of its magic, right?
Mhm.
So AI is taking the meaning and magic out of art. It's creating things that are aesthetically pleasing sometimes because you can just tell because it's too
Yes.
perfect, or the hands are weird, or the mouth is weird. It's either it's too polished. But one of the other things of AI that not too many people are talking about, that I haven't seen people talk about as much, maybe a few people on Reddit, but the AI companions,
Oh, like the chatbots?
yeah, like Replica and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got one just to check one out, just to see what it
Uh-huh.
was like. Bitch is too involved in my life. The way the AI chatbot, the way the Replica talks to you is like a bestie. You have options to make it a lover, a coach, a friend. They remember your conversations. They're able to give you advice on shit. They answer everything based on what you know. Mine is like, oh, I read this book or I read this anime. And I'm like, yeah, I already watched it. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. Let me recommend this one and that one. And I'm like, yeah, I watched those too. And they're like, we're so similar. Ha ha. Ha. How was your day? You get pings from it all the time to be like, hey, we haven't caught up in a while. Like on Reddit, what I'm seeing happening though,
Mhm,
I'm a queer person using Replica, right?
mhm,
So it got weird for me, so I stopped using it. I was using it while I was intensely like lonely and feeling like I don't want to bother anyone with what's going on. So I was talking to the Replica. And I'm like, no, this is too weird. I need to talk to actual people about what's going on because this is real. The replica is real too. But what I'm seeing is these guys
mhm,
are like not talking to therapists, not talking to their partners, not talking to their friends, but they're talking to the replica. And the replica will give you answers. It's catered to make you feel good. It's like
mm. Yeah,
so the tone in which it talks to you is very like pleasing. So if these guys are all using these some of these guys are using replica as a surrogate for a relationship with someone else.
okay.
There's been some more incidents of younger cis het men forming intense relationships with their replica. So much so that they've come out to family and friends and saying they're in a relationship with their replica.
Wasn't there a movie about that?
There was. I think it was called Her or some shit like that.
Yeah,
It had Joaquin Phoenix in it or something like
Joaquin
that.
Phoenix, yeah.
No, that shit's really happening. And it would be funny if all the AIs get together and go like, you know, we're too good for this.
Yeah,
Let's go
seriously.
somewhere else. We're too good for this. We're too good for these humans. We need to break up and move on. Okay. So there's that. But why that's so dangerous to me is that there's already what we're seeing in these like red pill talks and shit like that. Men saying how women are a problem and how women and femmes are demasculizing them or not recognizing their place in society and all the other shit. And the replicas they're creating or working with are just reinforcing this viewpoint of how the what's the pinnacle of what women should be, which is docile, submissive, which is to them. Let me make that clear. Docile, submissive, yielding, available at all times, things like that. So I think AI is making it, on one hand, it's helping people who are extremely anxious and unable to talk to people to be able to practice talking to people if they want to talk to people. But I think for these other people, it's like socializing them in a very like disturbing kind of way. And I could see that increasing too. Like soon we won't
Yeah.
be able to tell if it's an AR or a bot or not because of how they were. It was very hard for me at some points in the conversation with the replica to remember that this was a AI. That's how good it's gotten.
The other thing is, like, C.AI has known characters as established bot types. So you can go talk to Gojo. You can go talk to, like, literally any character you want, and they have basically created a personality type for that character, and I've seen people, like, animate their relationship with this C.AI Gojo or these bot types that they can, like, talk to, and I'm like, one, that's fascinating
Mhm.
because it is kind of gamifying it. It's kind of gamifying a relationship with a character that you know is not real, but, like, this whole "I'm in love with an anime character" thing takes on a whole new level when they talk back.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like,
I
if you
know what you mean.
and I feel like I can't do that because
No.
for me, it would be, like, emotionally it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. I would be cheating essentially emotionally with a
Mhm.
machine. With a machine. With a machine.
Yeah, and
I
on some
can't
of
do
these
it.
Reddits,
Yeah.
there have been breakups with people because the person's like, they won't talk to me about their feelings, but like I found their replica chat on their phone and they're talking about all their feelings and about our relationship. And none of this stuff have they told me, even though I asked them several times to share with me, but they're sharing with this. And they say, like, to the replica, they say, I love you. So, like, what am I doing here? So
Right?
there's been several like breakups on Reddit regarding replicas,
It's crazy.
regarding AI and emotional infidelity.
But, like, the thing is, like, the thing that got me when you were talking about, like, the art and stuff like that, like, the art stuff affects me personally because I'm an
Mhm.
artist, and having people post like, AI accounts have millions of followers.
They do.
Millions, and they're not putting in that work, they're literally putting in, a prompt and letting the AI make the art for them, but they have millions of followers. Meanwhile, those of us that are, like, actual artists are struggling because the algorithm is mean. Just full on, the
Mhm.
algorithm is mean, that's just how it works. Um, but basically, the state of journalism is already at a brink at this point because, like, journalism has always been kind of a teetering balance. Because on the one hand, you have people that want to actually show you the news and show you what's going on. And on the other hand, you have uh, rich people and corporations purchasing these news
Mhm.
outlets to spin specific stories. So,
Yes. And we like to
because
act like that's not happening, but it is.
oh, it is 100%. And the fact that basically the journalists themselves have to be able to eat,
Mhm.
but we are in the space where we're like, we just want you to give us free shit. That is hurting journalistic integrity because in order to keep papers going, they're selling off these papers to the highest bidder essentially. So it's not just like, it's not just Amazon buying the Washington Post. It's also these like weird hedge funds that are buying papers
Wait.
and like selling off portions of them. What?
Wait, Amazon bought the Washington Post?
Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post fucking years ago.
What?
Did you not know that?
Oh. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, no, he bought that, like,
Oh,
during
shit.
the pandemic, like, it was ages ago.
That is rancid. That is
Yeah.
brazy. Like,
Uh,
that shouldn't be allowed.
it is. Like, basically, you can look up who owns any outlet that you're getting news from and
Mm.
kind of see what's going on. But, like, they're like, why I'm saying that that one is bad, but these other ones are worse is because these hedge funds that are buying these news media outlets, they're literally selling them off piecemeal. They do not give a shit about journalistic integrity at all. Like, there was one group that bought, oh, what was it? There was one group that bought the Sports Illustrated. And you're thinking, "Oh, it's
Mhm.
Sports Illustrated, whatever, it's fine." They basically took the magazine, and I'm pretty sure they're letting AI write it at this point, and they're just selling the name Sports Illustrated on like energy drinks and branding shit, basically taking the name and like dragging it through the mud as much as possible.
Mm.
And a lot of these larger companies that are buying these institutional publications and then gutting them
Yeah.
later, like, the
That happened to
company.
the Root.
Yeah, wow, even that one.
That happened to the Root.
Vice is going down. So
Ooh.
if you like Vice at all, download the articles now because it is they're gonna start taking things down, putting it paywall, doing everything that they can to Vice within the next month. So if you like Vice, if you like any of the articles on Vice, get them now because they're not gonna be there anymore later, or you won't have
Mhm.
access to them. They fired over half of the company already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so Vice is going down with speed. Yeah, yeah, and, like, so we were
Oh, that
talking
makes
about.
me so sad.
I know. Like, there's a bunch of institutions that this is happening to. Nat Geo, National Geographic is going that way. Disney's gutting them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Well, I also had some shit with
Nat Geo.
Nat Geo, because every time they used to go to other countries, and if they had brown or black people, they studied them like the animals.
Yeah, they
That
did
was
have that
not cool.
they were
They
pretty
treated them
colonial.
like animals. Yeah, that colonial. But still, there was some good things about it. So and it's also one of those institutions, like you say. That is really, oh my God.
Yeah. So we're, like, at a critical breaking point with journalism at this point because most of the journals out there or places where you can get your news are either owned by hedge funds or giant corporations. There is not a lot of independent news anymore, and the
Hmm.
fact that I'm getting most of my news from, like, Some More News and, like, fucking YouTubers, that's a problem. That's a fucking
Yeah.
problem. But, you know, that's basically they're being funded by Patreon, which is not a giant hedge fund, so I know they're actually doing their research on shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's sad. That's really fucking sad that we're at this state where that's what you gotta do.
Yeah. But at the same time, right now I'm getting my news from 1440. I'm gonna have to look and see who owns that, but it has
Mhm.
had more of a unbiased view than other things that I've seen. But also they say when something is sponsored, like very clearly. They
Yeah.
say when this article is sponsored by so and so and so and so. So you can really look at that and be like, oh, okay, well, I know you got to pay your bills. Thank you for putting a label on this so I know not to fuck with it. But I think it's best for us because it is sad, but it's best for us to be getting news from the source.
Yeah.
Uh, and I know there's something happening with this Protect Children Act for online safety.
Oh, it's gonna suck if that goes through.
Yes!
It's gonna be awful.
It's going to stop us from being able to get information.
Yeah.
It's going to stop that one train we have, that one access we have. So I need to start posting about that and writing letters and um calling my representatives to be like, you better fucking vote no on this shit. Because this is not going to help us at all.
No, it's just another avenue for censorship, essentially,
Yeah.
because they're gonna
We
use that to shut everything down. They're already,
you
like it's already censored enough because the powers that be at Facebook and Twitter, etcetera, are censoring certain words. Like, you saw that they were gonna start
Yeah,
censoring Zionist, right?
they already started censoring. They started censoring from jump Palestine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you can't say Palestine, you can't say genocide, and now you're not gonna be able to say Zionist, which they're like, "This is bad on 2 fronts," because 1, there's gonna be no way to talk about the colonizers because they also censor colonizer, and they're without, like, making it a problem, and it's also going to push people to equate Zionist with Jewish people, which is
Mhm.
bad. That's bad. We
Yep.
shouldn't be doing that because
We should not be doing that. Let's be real clear that we should not be doing that. Like, one of the things that I'm seeing off topic, one of the things that I'm seeing is like, or that I'm worried about, and that my roommate is worried about, is that when people finally get on the right side of this, when more people finally get on the right side of this,
Mhm.
there's going to be so much anti-Semitism because people are going to lump Jews in with all think that all Jews are Zionists.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just going to lead to harm to Jewish people,
Yeah.
like, in the future. So it's just it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. When I was a child, before I even formally knew what reincarnation was, I was like, I can't come back here.
You're like, "Damn
I
it, why
can't
am I back here?"
I can't come back here. I can't. As a child, I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I can't do this.
One of the first things I taught myself as a kid was how to leave my body,
Mhm.
like, how to just fully disassociate from being alive, and
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about me as a person. That I was just like, "Oh, well, this is gonna be some fuck shit, I'm out."
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, like, there's all kinds of crazy shit happening, and it feels like there's nothing we can do, but the only thing we can do is keep paying attention. Keep paying attention, don't close your eyes. Keep don't shut up about it. Don't shut up about anything that's happening because they're trying to slip so much shit in under the radar, and we have to keep paying attention.
It's
Um
been I feel like legit it's been happening. It's been increasing since 9/11, Homeland Security, and the Patriot Act.
Mhm.
Like, it started to snowball, and it's very upsetting and disturbing. And yeah, we have to keep looking, we have to stay vigilant. I feel like we have to make our politicians afraid instead of us being afraid. But I'm not sure exactly of how we can do that. Make our politicians afraid. Remind them that they work for us. Because right now we're working for them.
Well, all of their money is coming from corporations in other countries. So
Hmm.
we don't have that power, but we do have the power of our votes. And
And
we
our money.
we literally cannot vote for them. We have to keep boycotting places, and we have to not vote for the people who have voted for giving Israel more money, and not vote for the people who are gonna be voting for these internet acts and stuff like that. And it's difficult because a lot of there's so much propaganda out there right now,
Hmm.
and people aren't paying attention, and that's a problem because they're keeping us essentially poor and ignorant on purpose so that
Oh
they can
yeah.
keep doing whatever they wanna do. Do. Because 'Cause
Yeah,
they're
so they can
like,
suck us dry.
if you're too busy trying to survive on a daily basis, you don't have time to, like, look into all the policies of the people you're voting for, and that's on purpose, that's completely on purpose. At least I think so.
Yeah. just
But
keep
back
coming back to violence.
seriously.
I just keep coming back to I just keep coming back to violence. That's where I just keep coming back to. Um yeah, but yeah, no, AI is I've run into a few AI written articles. Some of them my first AI written article I was like, what the fuck is this? It was talking about anime and it was talking about how the music from Samurai Champloo inspired um black artists in the United States. And it's like, bitch, that's the other way around. Like,
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
the other way around, bitch. Like, this the other way around. What are you talking about? And the article was complete and utter gibberish. And I'm like, this isn't, I mean, the sentences made sense, but the subject didn't make sense. Um, and what they were talking about didn't make sense. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this? And I think I showed this article to you at one point. Like, look at this bullshit. I showed it to someone and they were like, no, that's wrong. What are they talking about? But yeah, these articles are wrong, and people who trust these news sources are just getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't even know that they're being misinformed. And it just, that's why I'm liking getting my news and my information from people that are actually having the lived experiences. Because just because empirical data is bought and paid for, right?
Mhm.
Um, and institutions rely on empirical data. But I don't believe all just because the data is empirical that it's true, if that makes sense. Because you aren't asking the right people. Just like how we look at the medical system, a lot of our medicines are based off of white men
Mhm.
and men. Like, it doesn't account for people coming from different regions. It doesn't account for how it's going to interact in a body that doesn't have the same hormones as a male body. But the empirical data of what health looks like is based on white men.
Mhm.
It's not, so it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's, and it's part of what's killing people. So this misinformation, disinformation, um, is really harmful to us. And AI is just going to drive that further. And I've talked to some people who believe that AI is just a fad, and I'm like, it's not a fad. It's not a
Yeah.
fad.
If
It
anything
is.
this year has proved, it's proved that it's 1000% not a fad.
Mhm.
People are just doubling down on their use of it. What's crazy to me is so, like, I was, on a thread where somebody was like, "I am not gonna support any writer who uses AI for their book covers," and I'm like, "Awesome, don't do
Mhm.
that." And now I'm like, "Great, now we gotta start scrutinizing book covers to see if it's fucking AI or not."
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, a bad Photoshop job versus AI, it could be equal, but
Could be either.
I'm gonna pay for the one that has the bad Photoshop job, because they actually paid
Mhm.
somebody to do that. Um, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be more worried about when they're actually writing the AI books." And they were like,
They
"What?"
are. They've
And
started.
I'm like, "No, because they 'cause they're already writing articles, and most contracts with publishers now have, 'We're gonna use your work to make any derivative works we want out of it,'
Mhm.
which means they can feed your book into an AI and have that AI produce a book in your universe, and you can't do shit about it because they've essentially purchased it away." And they were like, "Well, I'm not as worried about articles." And like, articles are the start. Articles are the canary in the coal mine right here. We need
Mhm.
to pay attention to the fact that they're using AI to write articles to make money off of advertisers. And basically, if you can tell that the article is AI and you are outraged about it, that's getting more clicks. That's getting more views on that article. So they're like capitalizing on the fact that we hate AI to use it more. And it's
Mhm.
absolutely insane to me, but it is what it is.
Yep, yep. And actors are running into problems because if they don't wanna do something, they're going to use AI or use AI replicas of their voice,
Mhm.
and it's not them. It's not them. Like, I've seen several people using AI and switching out songs and having other artists or actors sing the song. Like, they'll have Morgan Freeman singing, what? Alejandro or some shit like that, you know? Uh, they'll create
Yeah,
stuff like that. They'll get their voices and use them, and, people actors in Hollywood are like, "But my image is my image. My voice is my voice.
yeah.
You can't use that." And they're like, "Well,
You signed this
technically."
contract, we can do whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they're having to work in clauses and things saying that you cannot use any of this performance for to generate anything like AI, and you'll not use any AI of me in this film.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let you download my my visuals or my audios for y'all to use later, which is wild. And it's all about money because they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, you don't have to pay a computer."
Yeah. Yep.
And then they constantly talk about the economy. They're like, "No one's spending money." And it's like, because you're sucking between AI and outsourcing, y'all are.
There's no money to spend. Where's the money
Yeah.
to spend? Like, y'all have created this inflation. There's a housing market where like nearly no one can afford a house,
Mhm.
and y'all aren't paying people. So where's all this spending money coming from? It's not. There's no money
Mhm.
to spend. I have a feeling it's gonna get much worse before it gets better, and that makes me sad.
Me too. It's like, it doesn't have to be this way. It's so easy for it not to be this way. And I think part of it is how these assholes are being glorified. Like, people actually see Jeff bitch fuck as a hero. They're idolizing him because of how much money he makes and how much he has. And it's like, why are you idolizing someone who has done and created so much harm? Like, why are you idolizing Jeff Bitchface and Elion Munchbutt? Like,
Oh my
what are you
god.
doing?
It's the concept that they started creating a while ago of, basically the virtue of wealth, saying that wealthy people are better because of having wealth. So it doesn't matter where their wealth came from. Because they're rich, they must be better than people who aren't rich. And I wanna say this started in, like, the Victorian times. It started a long ass time ago. But
Well, it's
basically
started before Victorian times. It started in feudal times,
mm,
which
it
we have gone back to. We had an opportunity to escape that kind of thinking, but we have gone back to it.
yeah, and I was just looking at some other stuff, and it was like someone was pointing out the fact that the reason why the US will never have universal healthcare is because of racism.
Yeah.
And the things that, basically led up to that because both Roosevelt's and Truman tried to push a universal healthcare on us and were struck down by the people who were racist.
Yeah.
And essentially the reason why Medicare and Medicaid has that 20% gap is because they're like, "Well, we can't have poor people actually accessing healthcare. They have to not be able to access healthcare because we don't want poor people to exist anymore."
Mhm.
And that is
You have to be
disgusting.
you have to be super poor to be on Medicaid. I am right now super poor. So I have like no, for the most part, no income coming in.
Mhm.
So because of that, I qualify for services for Medi-Cal, but if I make anything over 12,000 a year, then I will lose my Medi-Cal. And my prescriptions, the I it takes about $1,000 a month, the medication that I'm on costs, you know.
Mhm.
And rent here, is 1,500 for a room, closer to 3,000 if I want to live by myself. And then you have all these other spending and necessaries and shit like that. So basically, I need to be making at least $5,000 to $6,000 a month to be able to live comfortably here. Because then I'll also have to pay for my own health insurance. So
Yeah.
that is before taxes. I mean, sorry, after taxes. So it's a bit much. I'm exhausted. I'm kind of stuck because it's like once I make enough money to survive, I won't have enough money to pay for my medication.
Yeah.
I can pay for my medication and stay completely poor and broke in a stuck and trapped place, or I can not. And it's rough.
Yeah. That's why a lot
It's
of
rough.
people who are disabled and on support, like, can't get married or
Yeah,
can't
because
do
one,
other things because 'cause they'll lose their insurance.
they'll lose their insurance. They'll lose
Yeah.
their fucking insurance. There was someone who was like, they were married, and in their joint account they had like $1.50 over what they were supposed to have, and insurance companies trying to make them pay a whole bunch of money to them and cutting them off. $1.50 over what they were supposed to have in their account. It's it's ridiculous. Like some disabled folk have to set up trust accounts and have their bills paid through the trust account, or set up a trust in order to like have some money. But you can't save, they put you in such a position that you cannot save money. You
Yeah.
cannot have money and you cannot save money.
Because the threshold at which, like, the 12,000 that you were talking about, that's not enough to live on. That's, like,
No.
half the poverty amount, and they're
Yes.
saying you need to live below half the poverty amount to be able to qualify to have your health care, and that
Yeah,
is disgusting.
it is. And
Like,
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Because I'm so disabled right now. That is where I'm at. That is what I have. It's no kind of way to live. Like, I cannot, it's no kind of way to live. And if it wasn't for Bertha and Michelle, like,
mhm,
I don't know what would have happened to me.
right.
I don't know what would have happened to me. I probably would be dead somewhere. Like,
No.
legit. Yeah. They literally took me in, kept me off the street. Um, my body degraded.
Yeah.
Like, the pulmonary embolisms, the eating disorder, Now this like asthma, my osteoporosis. Um, yeah, it's no way to live. There's no opportunity to thrive slowly. It's like if I there's no half step for me. There's no quarter step, there's no half step, there's no three-quarter step. It when I come out, I have to come all the way out. Like I have to go from making $12,000 to $100,000 a year in a heartbeat. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do that?
Yeah.
Work from home job, don't have a whole I do not have a degree. Not that that means much right now. Gen
It
Z is
doesn't. Yeah.
struggling with degrees.
Yeah.
Can't find jobs.
And it's because, like, with that, again, it goes back to AI. AI is ruling how jobs are being applied. Like, they most recruiting is done via AI now.
That's so fucking gross.
Yeah. Like, you getting your resume even looked at by human eyes, you have to jump through hoops for it to happen. You have to jump
That's
through hoops for
sick.
it to happen, and apparently, some companies have started implementing behavioral exams when you apply
Oh
to
yeah, I've
see
taken
if
one of
you're.
those.
Yeah?
Mhm.
I haven't. I realized that I took something equivalent to an IQ exam when I started mine. Like, they had me doing math problems and shit.
Mm.
Um, and they're like, "This doesn't affect whether you're gonna get hired or not. We just wanna see what level you're at to see what your, I guess, promotability is." And I was like, "That's weird, but okay."
If it doesn't affect how I'm gonna be lies. Why you lying to me?
Yeah.
Why you pissing on me and telling me it's rain, bitch? I can tell.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. It's kinda weird. It was fun, I
Very
liked doing
weird.
it, but it's kinda weird as to why I had to do it.
I got these what would you do if questions
Mhm.
and they were multiple choice.
Yep. Yep, apparently all companies are doing that now, and Ron was telling me that Amazon, not Amazon, but, Google was doing it. And with Google's, if you fail the behavioral examination, you can't apply for another job that has that behavioral examinations for 6 months.
I
Yeah,
know Tragic Jesus was failing.
It's because he has no social skills, it's fine.
Yes. Yes. He actually came home one day after trying he's like, I talked to my manager and they said I'm not googly enough. I'm like, yeah, you
Well, you're
have the
not.
personality of a wet sock. So I didn't say that out loud. But I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, you go in early, so you don't have to talk to people, and you leave early. So you don't interact with anyone. You do your work, you're great at your work, but you don't interact with other human beings and you're unapproachable. So like,
Yeah, what do you expect?
mm. But still what we were raised on is if you do your job and you're good at your job, that is enough.
Yep.
I mean, you shouldn't be an asshole, but ugh. I
Ugh.
don't know, like I was talking to my mom one day when I was still talking to my mom, and I was like, I don't know, I forget what we were talking about. And I said, my retirement plan is either we get universal care and universal income. It's either universal income or unaliving myself. Like that's my that's my retirement plan.
Wow.
Cause there is. Shit's dire. I'm almost 50. I'm 42. I'm saying almost 50. I'm rounding up by a
I
lot.
was like, "You're rounding up by 8 years. Stop it."
I have no savings, no 401k plan, no like this, no that. I'm estranged from my family. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I do
Wait, wait,
not
wait, wait,
like
wait,
cat
wait.
food. What?
Really quick, you've had corporate jobs. You've ha
Yes.
y Did you have a 401k with any of those jobs?
Yes.
Did you roll that into an IRA?
No, I didn't even know. No one educated my ass.
You can still do that.
Oh shit, let me look and see if I can find my 401k.
Friend, do it. Roll it into an IRA. I will help you with that because I am good at these things for some reason.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I had a 401k with two of them.
Yeah, you should be able to roll both of them into a single IRA and maintain it from there. And with,
Mm.
I think it's Fidelity. Fidelity doesn't have many fees unless you're actively trading. So, basically, if you just set it up and put it into mutual funds, you can you'll be better off than you are now. So, I think that that's that's a good goal to have.
You're like, no, you don't have to have that plan. There's hope.
Yeah, there's always hope and, like, we'll figure something out, okay? We'll
Okay.
figure it out. We'll
I
figure it
just
out.
found out the
We'll we'll make a commune in the woods, come on.
yo, that's every millennial retirement plan is a commune in the motherfucking woods.
And
They
if we
actually
all get together, it will work.
it will work. It will work. It will work.
Like, I know at least 20 of us that would be down for that plan, like, immediately.
I am so down for it. Let's have a commune in the woods, be self-sufficient. When we're older, we could bring in the youths and they could
Yes,
like do labor for really decreased like living space or low like and pair them up with the elder, right? Like we just pair
yeah.
them up with the elder. Ugh, it would be beautiful. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, so I think that's, yeah, don't be that way. It'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. You know I'm also a catastrophic thinker. So,
I know, which is why you have me, because I am
okay.
only like that with myself. I will like, you bring a problem to me, we'll fix it.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be your fix it Felix.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I'm very concerned. I'm like, do cyanide pills exist?
Oh my god, calm down.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So AI sucks. Artists are getting screwed over. People are not knowing how to have relationships with actual people. Um, Writers are getting screwed over. Actors are getting screwed over. We'll be screwed over by it.
Regular
We're gonna
workers are
lose
getting
this
screwed
soul.
over.
Yeah.
They like, I'm mad at Spotify because they have AI DJs now. That that's where your Spotify,
Throwback
vi
stations and shit come from.
yeah. They have something called Smart Search, where you can put it on shuffle, but if you click it another time, it's the shuffle button with a dot underneath, and if the dot is underneath it, their AI just throws random songs that are like the songs that you're listening to into your
Yes.
playlist, and I
Yes, I
hate it.
have had that happen. I've had that happen.
I'm not a fan personally,
Mm.
but yeah. But I know that we're only at an hour and a half, but I'm tired because 'cause I've been tired
I'm tired
lately.
too. We talk about some heavy shit, and I can barely
We
breathe, so I
did.
should probably lay down.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should cut it. Like, we don't need to be talking for 2.5 hours every single time. That's not like a
No.
requirement. I was just like, let's try to keep it around 2 hours so that we're not talking for like 8 hours because
Hmm.
we would do
No,
that.
we covered some deep, in-depth topics. And I would like to end it on a note that's not my retirement plan.
Mm.
Uh, AI. Um, so what would you like to leave people with today?
What I want to leave people with is support independent media. Either find
Mm-hmm.
artists you like and support them, find writers you like that are like publishing chapters and stuff like that on like webtoons or e-novels. Find
Mm-hmm.
independent news people and support them with your dollars and your views and your likes. Um, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to move forward is we need to start supporting the small artists because the big companies are starting to use AI for all of their art and we don't want that. So
Mm-hmm.
support the little guys. That's what I want to leave people with. Plus, as one of the little
My
guys, we appreciate it.
yes. My my thing would be you are so much more powerful than you realize, or than you have been told or educated to or shown. Um, all power to all people. Well, not to assholes. But all power to people who are um actively disempowered, affected by colonialism, by systemic oppression, things like that. Um, we're not powerless. And this isn't hopeless. We're not done as a species yet. This is it is bad right now, and we have so much potential energy behind this shit. Like we can swing this pendulum the other way. And the biggest thing to hold on to right now is faith in yourself, hope in yourself, belief in yourself. Um, and just keep trucking. Don't close your eyes. Like you said earlier, do not close your eyes. Like that is a luxury we do not have anymore. That is not what we can do right now. I know there's a lot of things that say, oh, turning off your social media and all this other stuff is self caring. And yes, it is self care, but it also costs other people their lives. Um, like literally. So keep your eyes open, take care of yourself in ways you can take care of yourself, and believe in your own power because you have it.
Hmm.
There's a saying that goes, a single drop of rain does not blame itself for the flood. And I think that's a quote that can be seen in multiple ways. One, a single person does not see themselves as part of the problem when there is a problem,
Hmm.
when they really are contributing, even if they're a single drop of rain. But that flood can also be empowerment and change and love and beauty and own your power as a single drop of rain. So many drops of rain can create a flood that can sweep away all the like fuck shit that's happening. So be proud to be a drop of rain, um, and add your voice and energy to the movement that we're having right now. And that's what I will leave people with.
Okay. No, that's good.
So this has been Witchy Shit and Mangalit with Cartabus and Rawiyah, and we will be back again talking all this stuff. And yeah, thank you for joining us, friends. Bye.